Yeah, my name is Dante. Musically, I go by Don Dishes. I was born in Harvey, Illinois, and I have moved around and lived in Seattle, on Beacon Hill, all the way out to Tacoma, Kent. I've been out here for about 10, 12 years now. So, I'm pretty much I live here, but wasn't born here. So, yeah.
So what kind of music do you make?
Yeah, so the music that I make is would mainly be put in the box of hip hop. But honestly, I feel like I cover a spread of from hip hop to R&B, to your singer songwriter feels, and many other variations. I try not to box it in, but
Yeah, it's tough to describe.
hip hop. Yes, exactly. I like to leave it open, but mainly hip hop.
Yeah. I was just listening before we started talking. I really enjoyed it. It's really nice. It's got to be
Thank
really
you.
tough right now to be a musician during this whole pandemic.
Yes, yeah, I would definitely agree with you there. In many different ways, you've got the climate really hitting you strong and kind of stifling your creativity to a degree. Some people probably fuel off of that. Me, I'm an emotional guy, so when things really hit the fan with this, it was kind of tough to be as open with my creativity and myself. So that really sucked.
And there's really just no live performances. Well, unless you do it, I suppose, streaming, but nothing actually live where people are in front of you.
Right. Right. We're also losing that aspect as well. The live stuff is gone right now. And, I checked into some people who did the stream, just the in the venue streaming of the show, but I think everybody agrees, it's just not the same.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah. Like people are really trying to come up with creative ways to still engage with their audiences. Have you found
Mhm.
anything that kind of works for you?
Right. So honestly, recently I started trying to just build up a few videos of me chatting and reaching out to people or just talking about my day-to-day journeys when things got really bad and I decided that I would go out and and raise my voice and march in a few rallies and just try to get my energy up. So I started just talking on my platforms, and now I actually started a little thing where I'll hop on there every Thursday and just kind of vent. And I feel like people that follow me have kind of gravitated to that. I did my first official live IG broadcast of that yesterday. So yeah, it was nice. It's nice to speak on the things that everybody relates to and connect in that aspect. Because we're all people in the end. The music is just sweetening the pot.
So you've been out in the protests and the marches.
Oh yeah, definitely.
How has that experience been?
Oh man, I was at the first march on Westlake. Being there and then seeing the media rhetoric the next day was actually disheartening. Because it was actually peaceful and it was nice, and that we had speakers, that were up there really promoting positivity. And then being there firsthand, you could hear the things going off blocks away, but where we were actually gathering, it was very peaceful. So yeah, that was to just get the proof firsthand that the media is gonna twist and turn that thing was crazy.
Yeah, it was when things started really first happening in Seattle. It was pretty wild to go out there and see what was happening, then turn on the TV and see a whole other world. Like
Yeah,
it was they wouldn't cover stuff a lot of times, or
right.
unless it was like something on fire.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're excited about the flames, of course. But yeah, the efforts to gather and speak and promote the community. Yeah, that was shaded. I didn't see any of that, which is sad, man.
So during this time, like a lot of us are having a hard time, recharging.
Mhm.
What do you do to kind of recharge to keep going?
Right. Recently, I just went out and got into the woods, man. Went out to Oregon, went to Mount Hood, and just did a little camping trip, with about four other good friends of mine. Of course, distancing, doing what we can. But just to get away from everything. And honestly, personally, I had turned off my phone, turned off my location, and just kind of got lost in that and nature. And that definitely helped me recharge. I know it sounds cliche or kind of sappy, but
If it
it
works.
really helped me. Yeah, it does. I encourage everyone to do it. And then coming back, it was just a week ago now that I did that. I coming back, I just felt, definitely felt more energized, more able to, open back up to social media and take on some of the heft that it really does put on our backs and, start over.
Yeah. So like, how is that working right now when,
Mhm.
as far as like trying to connect with, as a musician, sorry, I'm kind of rambling
Right.
here.
Yeah,
As a
you're good.
musician, you're trying to
Yeah, no
connect
problem.
with
No
people
problem.
virtually.
Hmm.
How's
Right.
that working? Where you're just trying to meet new people maybe and strengthen
Hmm.
relationships?
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough for me. I've tried a few different ways. I've also just been kind of guerrilla marketing that aspect, just hey, here's me. How are you? Just plunging into it or following people and trying to show them that I actually respect and care about their product and what they're doing, and then trying to get a conversation. Personally, it's difficult, man. I'm very bad at it, but when it does go through, it's nice. I've definitely made a few new producer friends, a few more musical allies, as far as that goes. But man, reaching out to the fans and reaching out to people is a little tough right now because it's tense and everybody's everywhere. And, nobody, I think, is really super open right now. So it's a little tough.
Yeah, like what other changes have you seen in like kind of the Seattle music scene as this kind of pandemic has rolled through and now we have all this civil unrest?
Right. Yeah, man. For me, it was already kind of a closed box. I definitely have people I've networked with and friends and allies, that are in the industry and do great things for Seattle. But it was already kind of a closed off thing. So now that this happened, it's almost like a smokers club now. Like you can't get in unless you got the card, unless you know the names, because yeah, everything's real ironclad now, man. And it's iffy. You can't go to the studio and just do a mixer now and show up to a session and mingle and mix. That's really, where I kind of got in. I'm a people guy. I'll do a show and meet up after the show and go to the studio and just have the vibes continue. All of that has been stopped. So yeah, it's tough. The organic move for me is lost right now.
Yeah, it feels like people are kind of searching for an alternative. I know, we hear like even like stand-up comedians
Yes.
talking about this. Like, well, what, where does this go when
Mm.
you have like art form that's so dependent on the audience, really?
Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's not like the MLB where they talked about selling seats with
Yeah,
faces and
yeah.
everything. Like that won't suffice when you're on stage staring at a paper cutout. I can't get energy from that. So yeah, man. I'm man, the person that can figure out how to tie this together and get us back connecting, that's the win right there. We're all searching for it. I wonder what it really will be.
Yeah, yeah. It's and you're an independent artist, right? You do all this on your
Yes.
own.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Everything by myself. I have a few other, friends that make music as well that I, confide in. But yeah, I'm super solo. I'm my man. I wear all the hats. I'm the manager. I'm bouncer. I'm everything. So yeah, it's real tough.
What advice would you have for other folks that are like independent or thinking about, a lot of people you don't want
Yeah,
to make music, but they just don't know where to start. I mean,
for
not
sure.
maybe not the making music part, but like the actual
Hmm.
putting it out there.
Yeah, the putting it out there part, I would say, for me, I just go with the flow. I just put it out. Anything that you feel and you love, just put it out. Whatever realms you have circles of people in, you just can't be shy about it either. You have to give it to them, give it to your friends. Keep giving it to them as well. There is this thing called oversaturation, but if you're just trying to step into the door, you've got to say your name 20 times, and then you'll see that one or two people start to regurgitate that information. So yeah, I think it's just about planting your foot strong and taking a swing. If you got something that you believe in, put the product out, get it on all platforms, and just never look back and don't slow down. Stay consistent. That's really key.
This is always like a horrible question to ask a musician, but it sometimes can help
Mm.
the listeners. You- h- Who do you say is somewhat similar? Like, if they like something, what would they like that's like you?
Oh, that's like me.
Yeah, yeah, like similar artists, kind of. Because
Gotcha.
people, yeah,
Yeah, I've been I've been, I guess, similar, or they made similarities between me and a Twista. Me and a let's see, like a Cannibal Ox. That's a kind of a more underground name for most people, but in the mainstream, I'm not too sure. I'm pretty old school with my style and my flavors. I'm really 90s hip hop, with the way that I boom bap. I feel like I'm more of an MF Doom, where I'll rap something conscious, but then I'll spit something really dirty and, mind provocative for you as well. I'm into a lot of Wu-Tang, so but I guess the main similarity I get is Twisted with the flow. And then in stature, of course, I'm a big man, so I get the Biggie Smalls, but I will never take that on ever. So yeah.
So, have you been following? One thing we do in this show a lot is we talk to, politicians. Have you been following any of the local races at all?
Not too closely, but still, I'm tuned in. I'm tapped into my local scene in Kent a little bit, because that's where I grew up. And yeah, as far as the politicians go, man, I stay listening, but it's, man, I being in the position I'm in, I really don't know who I'm rocking with. It's sad to say that, and of course I will vote. I will never waste that precious opportunity. But yeah, it's really sad to say who I'm shaking hands with right now.
Well, I ask just because I
Mm.
talk to all these politicians, and it's kind of like a bubble.
Yeah.
They all kind of think that everybody knows about them, but
Mm.
realistically, the people out here in the real world, they don't always know because,
Facts.
well, there's not much trust been built.
Definitely. Yeah, there isn't a bridge between us and them, and
Yeah.
that's the sad part, the saddest part of it all.
What would you like to see in a politician? Maybe that's an odd question, but I always think about this like,
Mm.
well, what kind of a person do I really want?
Right, right. As far as I believe the politicians or anyone in a place of power or a lawmaker should be a mirror of their community. It should be a transparent position as well. In Kent, we've talked about trying to build that bridge between even the schools and the lawmakers so that the kids can see what the inner workings are and what's really going on, and with the police as well. If it only takes a high school degree to be a police officer, then how come we don't have a bridge between the high school and the police department? So I want to do the same thing with a politician. I want them to be transparent. I want to see what they do. I want to understand you. I want you to be in the community as well. You know, um, you know when Ms. Durkin came to the Kent rally, you're getting a lot of boos, ma'am. You don't want that from your community. That's not a lot of transparency in your game. That's not a lot of trust, or bridges being built. They're burned severely. So yeah, I just want somebody that I can hold accountable and that I can look in their eyes and I can show up and meet them in public places, and I can actually speak to them because they're only degrees away from us, but yet we're all humans. So we're all equal.
Yeah, it seems like sometimes they're kind of separated from regular people.
Hmm.
They're always like oftentimes pretty
Hmm.
rich. They're lawyers. Like they don't know what it's like to
Hmm.
work a regular job.
Yeah, man, they're detached, unfortunately, and they're not. They're detached and they're not trying to submerge into the community to gain that knowledge. If you can be from wherever you're from and hold a position, but how can you not step right into the middle of the circle and look all around you, and so you understand the job? That's pretty crazy to me. You've got to submerge yourself in the community. That's how you hold a position forever. That's how you keep people safe. That's how you know your streets. So yeah, we can't have that detachment. You've got to bring it home.
Yeah, I mean, going back to that trust idea, it's very similar to musicians,
Mm.
right? You when you're making music, every product you put out there, you're building that trust.
Hmm. Definitely,
I have
definitely.
I have those artists that I love that they've given me so much stuff so reliably that I'm gonna buy what they put out.
Right. Yeah, it's a one hand washing the other type situation. They're bringing you that, so when it pops up for sale, you'll be there, and you know that if you need that, oh, I need to feel this way, I need to decompress, like you said. Oh, put that on because I know it'll get me right. So, yeah, we need that. We need that connection.
So things right now in Seattle have
Mhm.
somewhat mellowed, right? The Chaz and Chop is
Right.
gone. What do you see as kind of like
Mhm.
the rest of the summer? What do you think is going to happen? I can have you make a psychic prediction.
Man. Right. Yes, I get prediction. I got you. Man, it's tough, but yeah, I think, I think we'll keep raising our voice in those areas and trying to stand strong. But I just feel like it was such an opportunity lost with the Chopper Chaz situation. I don't want to throw people under the bus because that's not what I'm here for. But man, I just thought that there could have been so much strength to that if it would have had the organization and the true foundation of what I thought I was walking into when I visited. So I don't think we'll see that again. Um, I only see a tougher road to hoe with losing that type of um, leverage because that was a solid win there and a chance to really speak. And now that we couldn't get it together in a decent amount of time and make it look a certain way, the powers that be will always say, "Hey, you couldn't do it, so we're not gonna do that again." So yeah, my psychic prediction is just man, tough boulders to crack to come and I don't want to see people get hurt anymore. I don't want to see the terrible things that happen, but all of this comes with the road to change.
So this is going to be a kind of a naive question, but I find this sometimes to be good. So what brought you to the march? What motivated you?
Right. I mean, first and foremost, just being a black man, and knowing that, hey, I know this stuff to be true before we had to have George Floyd, before we had to have Trayvon Martin, and I hadn't marched then. So really I was like, man, I want to step out and hear what people have to say. I was like, I want to hear Andre Taylor. I want to see what he was saying. I want to know who's out here really trying to lead some change. So that's what had me show up at Westlake with a solid group of my friends. And what keeps me going now is honestly just wanting to show up and say, hey, what can I do to help? Or, hey, I hope you guys are all right. And I want to make sure you guys are all right while you speak your mind. And I also feel like we have to police ourselves. I'm the guy at the protest that is stopping people from throwing shit. I know that sounds bad or people don't like me for it. People got into confrontations with me for it. I don't care. Use your voice, do the right thing. Let's aim that energy, not just throw inanimate objects from the fucking bleacher seats and get fucking tear gassed, which is what happens. So, but yeah, what got me marching was just being a black man, just wanting to get involved. And once I did, it just felt like the right thing to do. I speak while I'm there. I always personally, I move with the thought that I have love for police. I just don't have love for the police to kill innocent people every fucking day. And, I say that loud and proud while I'm there, whether it turns ahead or not. Because I want them to know that they're people. I got uncles and things that were police officers. My grandfather was a police officer. There's good people who do service that place. And, we're talking about more than just the people. We're trying to defund the system. We're trying to make a true change. So, somebody's got to be out there trying to keep a level head. So I feel like that's my position.
Going back to the music, do you have any new projects coming?
Yeah, man. I definitely have a 3-track coming out titled Dawn Code. That was all produced by a Seattle producer who goes by the name of Creeps. So people can look for that. That'll be on Spotify and all streaming services. I put it on everything, so it'll be on iTunes. You name it, you can get it. And yeah, I have a project out right now called Cadillac Nightmares, and I put out a recent single titled 2004 that is more of an R&B singer-songwriter feel, but it's a nice change to a pace from the fast rap that I usually do.
You had mentioned about in your email about just generally the climate of today. Was there any certain direction you wanted to go into that we haven't touched on yet? There's so many things happening in 2020, right? It's dazzling.
Right, man. It is. It's man. It's a cornucopia of chaos. You know. No, I think we're touching on just about everything. To speak more on the abundance of things, I feel like, I know people don't want to hear it, but the right approach to some of this, and I have none of the answers, of course, but the right approach to some of this in my mind might be to let's put all our power into knocking one thing out and getting results. And then let's pull all our resources and pull it in to drop more atom bombs on that next thing. Because these things are so large that there's no way we can just be like, oh man, let's defund the police. Oh man, let's get this equality. Oh man, this human trafficking is crazy. Oh man, like if we spread ourselves thin, like in anything you do, you're not going to be a master of the craft. Just got to get some dialed in players to really heat seek these issues. And I'm speaking off my head, but it's just it's wearing individuals thin just to receive this information on your timeline from all these crazy things. So I can't imagine how the factions that are pushing for this true change and to knock on these doors is feeling when the next thing is like a Monday away from.
Yeah, and it seems like things are only going to get wilder, right? I mean, the presidential election hasn't even happened yet.
Oh man. Yeah, and we're in for a roller coaster for that. It. Something phenomenal is gonna happen. I know it. Something mind blowing is gonna pop off when that happens. And
yeah, I keep on because I feel like I look back at earlier in the spring and it's like, oh, those were okay days, and I really worry that in the fall I'm gonna be like, remember July? Those were good days,
right? Yeah, man, it's gonna be a cold winter. A cold winter, man.
Well, if people want to hear your music or find more about you, where should they go?
Right. So you should go to Instagram is my main social platform. So @_ Dishes. That's DONDISHES. So Don Dishes, like a dish that you clean, easy correlation. And then Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud. It's all under my name, Don Dishes. Really easy to type in. I am the only Don Dishes that there is. So that should help as well.
I'll make sure I have all those in the show notes. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Yeah, Jason, thank you so much for having me.
You've been listening to Talk to Seattle, and I've been your host, Jason Rigdon. If you liked this episode, would you please share it on social media? Most podcast clients have a little share button. Click that and tell people why they should listen. If you want to support Talk to Seattle, would you please give the show a rating and review on iTunes? It really helps new people discover the show, and it makes me happy. Follow Talk to Seattle on Twitter @TalkToSeattle, and email any questions, comments, or suggestions to jasonrigdon@gmail.com. Thank you so much for listening.